Well, violence has also spread to other cities in England. Areas including Birmingham, Liverpool, Nottingham and Bristol have all been affected. Hundreds rampaged through the streets of Birmingham, looting shops and burning cars there. Our correspondent Claire Marshall's at West Midlands Police Headquarters for us with more. Claire.
The Deputy Prime Minister, Nick Clegg, is due to come here to meet officers from West Midlands Police Force. Within the last hour or so, they've given a news conference and said that they've made more than 130 arrests. There's also more raids carrying on as we speak on the homes of suspected looters. One interesting tactic they're using is by posting photographs on their site and also other social networking sites. So in effect, they're using some of the same tactics as the looters did themselves last night. Handsworth in Birmingham has known this kind of violence. In the hours before dawn, scenes of unrest last seen in the 1980s were played out once again. This is where it began yesterday afternoon, right in the heart of the city. Even youngsters seized the opportunity. It went on and on for hours. Absolutely everything has been taken from this shop, and this is the main street running through Birmingham city centre. And up there, the looting is still going on. Looters made off with whatever they wanted. Police watched it unfold. A few people felt they were to blame.
They've got no respect for us, they're rude, I've got no respect for them, that's why, and I wonder why youth go mad. We're going mad for the simple fact that you're not respecting us. When you respect us, we'll respect you back.
West Midlands Police say they did the best they could, given the circumstances.
At the height, there were probably about 700 to 800 people in the city centre. We had around 400 officers in protective equipment. This was not an angry crowd. This was a greedy crowd. What we were dealing with was dishonesty and disorder.
Early this morning, the relics of the violent hours of the night were cleared away.
For a number of months, young people have been saying, look, there's a potential of a riot taking place in here. And I think what took place in London was just like the catalyst for it taking place, or an excuse being used by young people to do what they did yesterday.
Do you think you see these riots continuing?
Hopefully not, but we don't know. If the police have a bigger presence tonight along Soho Road, hopefully that will deter a lot of the young people from coming out.
These are the kind of conditions that emergency services are having to cope with. We're inside a ruined bank. Vandals broke in here. They set off 2 fires, and these are the cash points they tried to break into.
It's usually damage, a lot of fire damage, a lot of vandalism with inside.
What do you feel when you see this kind of damage to something like this?
I think it's a very, very sad day for society, really, to see this sort of things happening and emergency service workers coming under attack.
Other cities have also felt the force of the unrest. This was the picture in Bristol. And this in Liverpool. By day, things look more normal, but there are real fears about what tonight may bring. Claire Marshall, BBC News, Birmingham. Now, in terms of extra police presence, West Midlands Police have said here that tonight there's going to be more than 500 riot police on the streets. Back to you.
Thanks, Claire. Well, as we've heard, the Prime Minister chaired a meeting of the Emergency Cobra Committee this morning. He announced that Parliament will be recalled for one day on Thursday. Our political correspondent Norman Smith's in Downing Street. Well, it's an understatement to say it's a testing time for both the police and the politicians, Norman.
Yes, and I think the clear desire in Downing Street is to try and crack these riots using conventional methods of British policing. That is to say, not to go down the continental route of occasionally more brutal policing with curfews and water cannon and baton charges and that sort of thing, to try and contain it through traditional British methods. But that will mean a huge increase in the number of officers on the capital street. So tonight you're looking at something like 16,000 officers on the streets. That's a trebling in the numbers, and the hope is that will act as a deterrent in potential trouble spots and deter people from rioting. The second change we're going to see is a much more assertive approach by the police towards arresting troublemakers. I think there's a view that last night, too often the police stood back. Tonight, the expectation is they will go out and they will arrest more people. And the last change, is we are told, is that there is going to be a speeding up of the judicial process. So when people are arrested, they will appear in court, they will be sentenced, and they will go to judge much, much more quickly. And the hope is that, too, will act as a deterrent. And that whole package, I suspect, will gain the support of the Labour leader, Ed Miliband, who has also called for a much more robust response. But the overarching theme is to try and do this through conventional methods of British policing.
Thanks, Norman. It's 20 minutes past 1 now then, and